So last Friday on Nitro Gang Dimitri's Live, he got his hands on the RJ Speed Pro Stock car. And I was kind of intrigued what he was doing. So they didn't have those. So on his live, on his affiliate link, I went and got the funny car kit. And here it is. So I went in and I took the liberty of unboxing this thing to see what you got. And kind of intrigued on what they give you. So everything you get is enclosed in the funny car body, which is your wheels, a bunch of parts bags, and kind of get an idea of what else I was going to need to make this thing do Nitro funny car things. The biggest thing was I couldn't figure out how it steered, but I kind of figured that out now. So I went ahead and thumbed through the instructions and, you know, looked at a few little things, and I went in and took all the parts bags out, and they kind of don't make a whole lot of sense, but they kind of do make sense. DN3, DN4, D6, D7, D12, D13, D14, then FN1, F2, F5, and bag 11. And here's your chassis, which looks like it's pressed fiberglass. You got a couple of little pieces, and you got this random linkage rod that wasn't in any of the bags. So we're going to thumb through the instructions, figure out what we're going to do first on this. So through the instructions, let's figure out what we're going to need. First thing it says we're going to need a bump start engine. Well, I don't have a bump start engine, but I do have a pull start Traxxas 15. This is a power up threaded shaft. I think all the Traxxas clutch parts are going to work because it said it's looks like it's mod 0.8, which is, you know, standard Traxxas stuff. So here's the engine we're going to use, but we don't have the engine mounts. But what I do have, see if I could find these anywhere. I have a pair of, which should be, these are going to be pull start mounts versus bump start mounts, because, okay, what bag is our engine mounts in? Excellent question. They should be here somewhere. Oh, here they are. So these are the mounts they give you, and they look like they're absolutely concentric, and these mounts will obviously lift the engine up quite a bit so we can clear our pull starter. Plus, hopefully doing that, we're going to go with an HPI can muffler, and this was a factory on the Supers, a lot of the RS4s, the Minis had these things. So this muffler, I think, turned upside down, is going to clear our back plate. By back plate, I mean the plate that goes in the back of the car. The instructions also say it has to be a slide carb, not a rotary carb, but I think we're covered on that because here is a 5.5 mil pull carb, slide carb, that came off of a GS that I wound up putting a Traxxas carburetor in because the application calls for a rotary carb. So the kit also calls for, you got to supply your own servos, no big deal there, but it also, you have to supply this style servo saver because you're going to have rod links that go out to your steering, and this bolts right to the servo, and the servo is just going to be double sticky taped down to the actual chassis. So step 1 of the instructions says open bag 1 to install the aluminum angles and chassis brace to the chassis with 4 1/4-inch screws. Well, easy enough to find the chassis brace, but our actual brackets were in bag DN3. So let's go ahead and knock that out. I got a little ahead of you. I went in and put in the front steering block on this thing and this rear reinforcement, which is pretty simple. Just grab the screws, a couple little spacers, a couple nylock nuts, and these ones, believe it or not, don't use nylocks, but well, it is what it is. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to install our kingpins. Kingpins are going to go in here, and this is what our steering blocks are going to sit on. All right, so the kingpins are in. Let's go ahead and build the steering blocks. So guys, our steering blocks are in. They're doing steering block things. I went in and took the liberty of putting the back engine mount plate on there, which is just a couple of screws and a couple of body posts. At least I think these are going to be body posts. They might not be, but they might. All right, so let's see what our next adventure is going to be. So we have made it to step 7, which is basically going to press these oilite bushings into these brackets. You're going to use little angle brackets to bolt those to the back of the chassis down here, and this up here is going to be your fuel tank mount. So let me knock that out. So the kit really didn't discern which one, because this has a bit of an angle to it, so I went in and angled it up, but it didn't really discern one way or another, but it did show the larger space towards the front of the car. So that being said, once you get this piece snapped in, just a couple little short screws kind of jam in there after they go into the slots, but that's the fuel tank mount. So our next step is doing the rear hub. And what it tells you to do, just basically screw the spur gear to the wider of the 2 hubs, which is kind of cool because they're 2 completely different hubs. And then you're going to slide your axle through. Now I had a little bit of trouble getting this axle to go through here and fit nice, so all I wound up doing was I just loosened up these 2 screws, got them in there till they turned, tightened back up, make sure they still turned. And the instructions themselves, they just kind of go from assembling this to look at your engine. But we do have a picture down here, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow that picture and get this axle. So based on the pictures provided, I would say this looks pretty good. It's doing pretty good things. And I went in and laid in my pull start mounts. And the difference between the pull start and the bump start mounts is, oh, I'd say good 3/8 of an inch, which is, what's that, about maybe 7-8 millimeters, maybe just 6. But either way, it's going to clear the pull start on that Traxxas 15. So for now, we are just going to unbox this thing, and we are going to, let's see if this thing can defeat me. Please don't defeat me. These are funny, all that packaging, and they're in like a double blister pack that's just stapled together. I'm just, for the moment, without a clutch, I'm just going to lay this engine in this thing to see where we're going to need to be on everything else. All right, guys, it was just sprinkling out there, and it's not sprinkling anymore. It actually got kind of ugly, but I got the engine in with my pull start mounts, and once you flip this hub around and get the spur on the right side, it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to use a Traxxas clutch on this thing. So I'm going to go run in the room, grab me a pilot shaft, grab some bearings, grab a flywheel, and grab a clutch, and see how everything's going to line up. So I tapped into all my Traxxas good, and if you guys can hear this, but my mesh is about perfect. I wound up using a clutch collet, or a collet, to space this thing out about 4 millimeters, because the issue I was having on this side, because of the pull start, the wheel was hitting it. Now I'm still gonna have to shave this wheel just a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it's gonna work. And on this side, we have almost perfect clearance on this side, so I vote we just go ahead and put the back tires on it just to make it look pretty. So what do you guys think? Looking a little bit more like an RC dragster now? So yeah, kind of like it. And I went in and got ahead of myself. I went ahead and changed out the carburetor. Took out the Traxxas rotary, put in the slide carb. So I think before we do anything, we should go ahead and hug out this exhaust. So guys, that exhaust is 5 minutes I'll never get back. It's just an HPI can muffler with a Traxxas 3156 gasket. And look at that, guys. HPI and Traxxas, they're friends again. All right, let's go and get some front wheels on this thing so we can figure out the steering. The steering is going to be, well, it's going to be different. All right, guys, you can clearly see in these instructions, these springs are on the bottom of these steering knuckles. So I had them on the bottom. You know, the front tires are just press a couple bushings in, put a pin on there, put an E-clip on there, but had I had the springs on the bottom of this thing like it showed, I would have had absolutely no ground clearance. Like the wheels were hanging about 10 millimeters up. So let's figure out this steering, because what the steering showing is just 2 basic rods and then double sticky taping a servo to the actual truck or the rig itself. So per the instructions, you're supposed to lay a servo down and just tape it down and use one of these servo savers to, and then you're supposed to connect these 2 little rods with a collar and a set screw. I didn't like all that, so what I wound up doing was careful measurement, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of a Great Plains Z-bar bender. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to have this thing centered. And let me get that servo over just a little bit. But once I go and get this thing centered, it'll show me where my servo is going to be when the wheels are centered, and we'll just stick it down with some 3M VHP. I like that idea a whole lot better than the way the kit was designed. So interestingly enough, our servo doesn't fit into the throttle servo bracket, but it gets even better from there. So they give you a strap brake to hold on to your clutch bell to slow you down, and then you're just going to pull on it from here, and well, guess what? There's no way this chassis would have to come back another inch or so, and that's just not happening. So we're going to do the right thing and no brakes. But I'm going to go ahead and pop off this bracket real quick. I'm going to open this up with a Dremel. So after grinding this piece out big enough to get a servo to fit inside there, this stuff is 100% fiberglass. I know that smell anywhere. And once again, guys, on the throttle linkage, what they wanted you to do was butt 2 pieces together, put a collar on it. But, well, me and Mr. Great Plains here, we had other ideas. And I completely misread how that brake actually works. It kind of goes from the bottom, then loops around, and it pushes on it for brakes. So we're going to have brakes. So at this point, I guess we got to figure out where our fuel tank's going to be, where our receiver's going to be, and where our battery pack's going to be. Now the fuel tank would ordinarily sit up under here, but because I put this rear muffler on here, that ain't going to work. So we're going to have to figure something else out. All right, guys, so this is where I'm going to leave you. So I got the battery mounted, receiver mounted, I got the servo mounted. I decided to go with a rustler tank as opposed to anything else. And just so y'all know that I'm not messing with you, so you can see how that rod goes into an actual 4-gang servo horn. And I went the other direction, but watch this. So my throttle opens perfect. I got the expo set way down for one reason. When I go backwards, I'm bending the whole rig. So what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to have to change this over to a slide collar and a spring. And then I managed to the little screw that holds the brake down, I managed to snap that off. So I'm going to drill that out tomorrow. But she actually does steering things. I mean, you know, these things, it's a dragster. It doesn't have to steer a whole lot. It's just got to steer. So I'm going to leave you guys with that for tonight. We're going to come back on a second video tomorrow, finish everything else, tighten everything up, get the body painted, and get tires on the ground on this thing. But it is showing some promise in what it is. I mean, for a kit that I'm going to guess was designed sometime last century, because, well, and also the cool part about that is all my VHB that's holding this thing together is going to cure. But listen, guys, I will see you on the next one. Look out for part 2.